They separate us from our neighbors and they call it social distancing. It's actually a bigger plan, it's called social conditioning. They took away our privacy, there's always someone listening. They're rigging the elections, planning riots for the citizens. The government has always lied, it's history repeating. But the problem is the schools dumb you down so you believe them. If you try to speak the truth inside a tweet, then they delete it. Whole administration Satanists who claim they praise in Jesus. Every year there's a new name for enemies that we're facing. It's Al-Qaeda, then ISIS, and now American patriots. Who would have thought those who love the country the most would be hated on by folks who call America home? Both political parties are equally just as evil. They've been working for themselves, don't give a damn about the people. Black, white, yellow, brown, humanity needs you. Cause united we stand, divided they will defeat you. The man on the news says the problem is me. I'm just a small town boy with big American dreams. The world's going crazy and they lying to us. Don't know who to believe, so in God we trust.
Heck yeah. In God we trust. All right, folks. So here you are in my studio, which is really just the corner of my living room. Today I went to the city of Amboy, trying to get information. And I was told that I had to pay a fee, and I didn't really, I'm trying to hold public officials, elected officials accountable for, to their oaths of office. And I'm finding more and more and more in every city that I go to, just everywhere that I go, that the Constitution is not recognized. And that is a dire threat to our civilization here in the United States. If we don't have a Constitution, we don't have anything. We don't have a country. We don't have a foundation. And I'm not going to sit back and just watch this happen. I'm one person. Maybe I will. It doesn't matter to me. But the rest of my life is dedicated to reestablishing the Constitution here in the United States under God, my Creator. So what I wanted to do here is I wanted to call the Sheriff's Department, Blue Earth County Sheriff's Department. And as you could see, I had the take me off here. All right, so Minnesota Sheriff's Association. What I'm going to be calling about is asking them about oaths. I'm just going to get into it because I've talked enough. I need to get some answers. All right, Blue Earth County Jail. Sheriff's Office. 304-4800. Is that the one? Yeah. Oh, okay. So if I can hear it, you can hear it.
For inmate services, press 1. For administration, press 2. For fingerprint information, press 3. For court information, including court dates, press 4.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Please try again.
Okay.
For inmate services, press 1. For administration, press 2.
Administration, right?
Transferring you to
Jail Administration Office.
This it's Blue Earth County Central Control, where all your needs may or may not be met. How may I help you this lovely afternoon?
Actually, are you a sworn-in deputy?
I am not.
Can you direct me on how I can speak to a sworn-in deputy?
All right, what's the need for that, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm
That way,
doing.
if they ask me,
I'm sorry?
that way, if they ask me, I can kind of like brief them before they
I'm
chat with you.
just a concerned citizen needing to question them on their oath.
Oh, okay. Could I ask who's calling by chance?
My name is Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron Lane.
I will send you over to our sheriff side of things, Mr. Aaron.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Intake.
Hello, my name is
Intake.
Aaron. Hi, how do you do today? Sir,
Good.
may I
How
have
are
your
you
name?
doing? My name is Don.
And sir, are you a sworn-in deputy?
No, I'm not.
Is there somebody that I can speak to that is a sworn-in deputy?
Not in the jail here. None of
Okay.
these guys are sworn deputies in the jail.
Really? What?
You're talking to the Blue Earth County Jail. Are you trying to get hold of the Blue Earth County Sheriff's Office?
I suppose I am. So I guess I called the
Okay.
wrong place. May I have that phone number, please?
You did. What's the dark side's phone number?
The dark side.
Transfer him? Okay. We're going to transfer you to him.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Justice Center Dispatch.
Hello, my name is Aaron Lane. Are you a sworn-in deputy?
Nope, I'm a dispatcher. What can I help you with?
I just need to speak to a sworn-in deputy.
What in regards to?
Their oath.
What do you mean by their oath? Like what they have to do to get it, or?
Ma'am, I just need to speak to a sworn-in deputy
It's
about
my responsibility
their oath.
to find out what they're going to be talking to you about. So that's why I'm asking these questions.
Okay. I'm holding all of our elected officials and sheriff's department. I'm conducting a constitutional oath audit
Okay.
under the First Amendment, ma'am.
All right. What is a phone number for you, just in case I can't transfer you out to one?
It's 507-525-8804.
Okay. And can I get your home address just for our records?
What do you need that for, ma'am?
We ask everyone that calls in.
I don't have to give you that. I'm sorry.
Nope. I have to ask. You don't have to give it. That's fine. So let me put you on hold and see if I can grab a deputy for you, okay?
Thank you. I'm under the impression they've never had this happen before. You know, when I moved to Minnesota, the people here are great. But I did not know that I would be literally walking through the shadow of death. Oh, isn't that annoying? So I was told earlier that I had to go to the Secretary of State. I don't trust my secretary. Honestly, right now at this point, I don't trust anybody that is in our Capitol office because they all witnessed what everyone, each and one another, was doing. And none of
Aaron,
them...
are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm going to transfer you out to Captain Barda, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Sheriff's Office, Barda.
Hello, sir. My name is Aaron Lane. I'm conducting a constitutional oath audit. Are you a sworn-in deputy, sir?
Yeah, I was sworn in when I was hired by the Sheriff's Office back in 2002.
Okay, and what was that oath to, sir?
The oath was to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the laws and ordinances of Blue Earth County in the state of Minnesota.
Okay, and what is the highest law of the land?
It depends. Probably the most, constitutional related answer to that would be the Constitution of the United States. The interesting thing on that question with constitutional law, at least to me, is that through the structure of the United States government, local law enforcement, such as the Sheriff's Office, isn't authorized, at least in the state of Minnesota, to enforce federal laws. So there's just some weird or sort of unique, subtle differences or changes state by state, and specifically with the state of Minnesota in our role.
Okay. So what do you abide by the Constitution, or do you abide by state? Because from what I'm understanding, sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. It's just hard on phone calls. So when we talk about that, abide by the Constitution, the expectation of our agency is that we respect the constitutional rights of all citizens, right?
Right.
But when it comes to enforcement of any kind of statute, law, or rule, we aren't authorized or empowered to enforce federal statutes. We can work with federal law enforcement agencies. So to me, it's almost like two different but related questions. We're empowered to uphold the people's rights as they relate to the Constitution, but when it comes to enforcing laws, it's state statute and then local ordinances.
Okay, so
does that make sense?
Yes. So, but you would have jurisdiction over them and make sure. I'm just trying to understand, because I have unconstitutional city ordinances here in Amboy.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm looking to have them removed.
Can you give me a little insight into? So what I'll tell you too is the local ordinances for municipalities. Frankly, our office does not do a ton of enforcement of them. I know there's a lot of different ones out there. From previous experience, I know some of them are like super old. I don't know if there's a date on the ones that you're looking at, but man, I think I've seen some of them that are like, even for some municipalities, from like the 50s or even 60s.
Right, 100 years
and
old.
I know that they have to go through a review process in order for enforcement, or to be like added to our court system for enforcement if it gets to the point that that's going to happen.
Well, I'm looking to reestablish the Constitution in every state, every county, every city.
Sure.
It is my sworn oath as a United States citizen to do so, so therefore I am.
Sure. Are you able to enlighten me as to what specific ordinances you're talking about? Or just, I'm not asking you to read them to me, but what's the context of the ordinances that are in question?
Anything that
places have like junk car ordinances or like exhibition driving, or what ones are you looking at?
Well, just specifically one that I really have. Just one, because like I saw the first one, and that was it. There was a man that was trying to put up a fence, and he was restricted on his own property.
Okay. Oh, you're saying so like the ordinance would have had something like a setback requirement or something from property lines or something like that?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like it has to be a specific height unless if it's connected to the house. I mean, that just that doesn't. I believe that violates a person's constitution, their constitutional rights as a United States citizen, because it has nothing to do with anyone else. It's literally like it has nothing to do with safety. Doesn't have anything to do with other than the aesthetics of the town.
Yeah, I see your perspective on it. I don't have a great answer for you.
That's okay. I'm not going to quit until I, you know.
Yeah. Well, here's what I say. I don't have a great answer for you. It's mean like I don't have a great answer for you on the enforcement component of that or how we would approach it.
Okay.
It's probably there's a couple of things, and I think you probably know if you're in town in Amboy that the sheriff's office is not. I mean, we can enforce certain laws, rules, and ordinances and stuff, but because Mapleton PD is under contract with the city of Amboy, it's really not anything we get involved with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but do you have jurisdiction over them?
Relationship?
Sir?
Sorry, I think I talked over.
It's okay. Do you have jurisdiction over Amboy though?
Over because
it's in the county.
Well, that's what I mean. Mapleton Police Department is contract to enforce laws and ordinances within the city of Mapleton and Amboy.
So who would hold them accountable?
There's a law enforcement entity in charge of it or with responsibility over it.
Okay, and who would hold them accountable to their duty?
The city council and the mayor.
Okay.
So that's a common thing that comes up, honestly, from time to time is that people, and not a lot, but it'll come up a couple of times a year. Let's just say that, I don't know, Police Department A is within the geographical boundaries of Blue Earth County.
Right.
And a citizen in that city is not happy with the law enforcement service that's provided, and then they'll come to the sheriff's office, oftentimes me, and say, hey, this is the situation that happened. I don't think the resolution to it was appropriate. I don't think they did their job or did what they were supposed to do, and I want you guys to fix it. And our unpopular, I guess, answer to that is that we don't have authority over that municipal police department. In other words, it's not like, we structure their policies or procedures or hold them to task. We're a separate law enforcement agency, and the oversight for that police department then is through their city council, the mayor, city administrator, and things like that, if that makes sense.
It does. So the mayor, my mayor, Dave Watucky, I would have to take this issue to him.
I would bounce it off of them, yeah, and because they're the ones that are, the physical entity with oversight over the ordinances. Police department really is more of, obviously it's the enforcement arm of the government, but when it comes to like even the implementation of statutes or in this case ordinances, we don't control that. We sometimes get consulted, like the county board may say, we're looking at passing this ordinance or approving this ordinance for social host or something related to this. This has a direct impact on the sheriff's office for the enforcement of it. What do you guys think about this? We might get some insight into that, but frankly, there's all sorts of laws at times that get passed that may not carry the full support of something like the Minnesota Sheriff's Office, Minnesota Sheriff's Association or the Minnesota Chiefs of Police Association. But the legislature, that's their duty or job and is to assess and then enact these statutes. Sometimes my point is we might not even agree with the statute, but then it's presented upon us as a requirement to try to enforce it.
Okay.
So in the case of the ordinance, it's similar. You know what I mean? The Mapleton Police Department is the enforcement arm for the local government down there, but they don't control what ordinances are or aren't enacted either. That's the city council and the mayor.
Okay. What are you familiar with posse comitatus?
I've heard the term, yeah.
But you don't know the ins and outs of it?
Well, my understanding, or I guess the context that I hear about it is somebody that is subscribes to the Constitution is the ultimate law of the land,
right?
And feels that laws maybe that are created by a government entity outside of the Constitution maybe are not lawful or in line with the Constitution, therefore shouldn't be abided by or held to. Am I close to what?
I'm not sure. I'm asking these questions because I really don't. I picked up my copy of my Constitution and I look around and I see a nation that is not abiding by it. I've spoken to a few people about some things, and the words posse comitatus came up, and how a deputy can deputize civilians, basically take control over a corrupt county. What would be needed to, because I personally believe and have proof that we are under attack by the CDC, and they're the ones that are actually giving us medical mandates and everything to abide by. Sir, were you aware that the CDC patented the coronavirus transmissible to humans in 2002? I can give you the patent numbers.
I've heard all sorts of different theories and ideas and thoughts on it.
No, this is actual. It is a patent in the U.S. government. I can send you all this information.
If it is, I've not seen it. No, I know there's so much controversy surrounding it that.
Exactly, and I'm a citizen journalist, so it is my job to make sure that I'm reporting rightful information. I've physically seen the patent. As of 2002, the CDC, the very one that is giving us medical guidance, were the ones that patented the coronavirus. I can bring it up here, just 1 second here.
Can you email it to me?
I definitely can. Or I can just give you the website that has all of the work done it, so you can see for yourself everything.
I'm happy to give you my email address if you'd like.
Sure, I can do that too.
URL, I'll copy it down.
Yeah, it's TimeToFreeAmerica.com.
It's time to free
America.com/revelation. And it's basically the works revelation. No S.
Gotcha.
And it's his work. You know, I don't take any credit for it, but it literally gives you a step-by-step by all the legal proceedings that happened, everything. And he gives links to where you can see the actual documents. I believe the patent number for the coronavirus is like 7279327 or something like that. I can bring it up. Or you can view it for yourself. But
I'll take a look when I get a minute.
Time.
What else can I help you with specifically? Because we started out talking about the ordinance stuff, and then it kind of expanded into the COVID stuff. Is there anything specifically that you're looking for from me or from us, or?
Well, I see that our nation is under attack. I see that our law enforcement is not upholding the Constitution. And I see that people are dying because of it. So I don't know where to begin. I'm reaching out to you to understand the laws and how to hold people accountable to their constitutional oath.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, by bringing this information, this true information that is not reported on the news, I'm trying to make sure that all of my law enforcement knows the truth and they have access to it. So once you have access to the facts, there's no more excuses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
and I would tell you again, I kind of got on the path of this. Part of our discussion is that I would say that there are laws that are enacted from time to time that may not have the support of law enforcement, and at times we also feel that maybe somewhat similar to some of the things that you're saying,
right?
But when we're sworn to take an oath to uphold the Constitution, the laws, sometimes some of that stuff may even seem like there's some sort of general conflict with it, and we kind of do the best we can. We're not perfect either, and we've got to make decisions, and frankly, we don't always have active enforcement on every law. We might do education instead of enforcement, and have different ways to approach things too. So if we do the best we can, that's what I'm getting at.
Does the sheriff have the ability to declare martial law over his county?
Does the sheriff have the ability to declare martial law over the county? I would say my most recent, or my only experience with that would be more similar to what some cities did for curfews. Whether or not there is something in statute, in provision, in rule, in law that would allow a sheriff to do that, there's that potential. But here, I'll tell you another example. There is certain, even Minnesota or, specific statute that would say that we can do certain things, we being law enforcement, like go into someone's home to serve an arrest warrant with probable cause or reason to believe that they're there and force their door open. We usually don't do that. It's weighing out what we think should be the correct process, even though there may be a law that empowers us to be able to do something.
Right.
And that's what I mean. It goes back to, so just to answer your question directly, is there the capability? Maybe. There might be. There really might be. What would the practical application be? Probably not just to declare it, probably to work through a county board and the governmental entity that's responsible for some of that oversight to do it, more amicably. I don't think that most elected officials, specifically like sheriff's offices, would ever want to be accused of, overuse or
treason,
excessive use of authority. You know what I mean?
Right.
We
Absolutely.
Saw some of that we saw some of that, I think, with at least allegations of it with some of the lockdowns and different things and some of the challenges that came out of that, whether or not that authority fully existed in the capacity it was used and things like that. So.
Well, I think the only possible way that could happen is under martial law. I mean, you have a United States flag on your uniform, correct?
Yep.
And does it have a gold fringe around it?
Yeah.
That is martial law. That is not a regular law enforcement. The regular under the United States Constitution, there's no gold fringe. That flag that you wear on your uniform is a maritime flag. It's military.
Okay.
Do you know why, or can you find out why you have a gold fringe instead of the Title IV flag on you?
Well, I could probably try to find out, but I suspect that it may be a challenge to do that. But I'm guessing that you've got a theory behind it.
Well, it really seems, because nobody is, like I said, I mean, the Constitution seems to be a joke to most people. I mean, I hear from multiple elected officials that, they took an oath to defend the Constitution, but then when you turn around and say, okay, well, then this is unconstitutional, what are you going to do about it? It's like, oh, well, my hands are tied, and there's all of these things that stand in the way. And I'm just wondering how we actually got here.
Yeah, well, and I may take a little bit of a different position on it, because when you talk to me about like my role as a law enforcement official or law enforcement officer, deputy, however you want to, whatever category or name you want to put on it, when somebody asks me about my position or our position on the Constitution and our obligation to uphold it, I think about things like First Amendment audits that have happened here, where we have an individual show up that wants to film areas that some people on initial thought would think, they shouldn't be doing, and it's defending their ability to do some of that stuff.
Right.
Most of the people that I know that I work with, we would probably, I think, pride ourselves on being protectors of the Constitution. We completely want people to be able to exercise their constitutional rights, whether it's the right to bear arms, the freedom of speech, any of them. We don't want illegal search and seizures. We don't want,
right.
Punishment that is in excess or not appropriate. I mean, we really, that when you ask me, that's where my mind goes to constitutional law, and my obligation is to make sure that we're preserving and understanding individual rights and not effectively using our power to hurt them.
Well, that's I'm glad that you brought that up. When I was in Albert Lea this week, and I tried to go to the second floor to conduct a FOIA request and was denied access with a camera. I was also disarmed at the door.
Okay.
I believe that my First and Second Amendment rights were violated.
Okay.
See, and I don't know where to go because I spoke to the city attorney. I mean, we spoke to as many people as we possibly could, understanding what we knew, and it was crickets. I mean, there was nothing that we had to do. They told us that we had to do these things through the courts when it's the actual judge. There was a judge that signed this into quote unquote law that prohibits me to do this. You know, I mean, this is a judge that's supposed to be upholding the Constitution, I'm assuming.
When you say the access to the second floor and the ability to carry a firearm, you're saying the judge.
No,
signed
my
that
knife.
order,
You cannot go at, like, because there's a metal detector. You have to go through before you can even get into this public building. You have to go through a metal detector, and if you have a firearm or a knife, I mean, I was told that I could not bring a knife into the building.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we disarmed ourselves. You know, I'm trying to be as peaceful as possible. You know, I'm not here to start a war. So we went back to our car, put our knives in our car, and came back with our cameras. Tried to go to the second floor, and we were threatened under the threat of arrest if we continued forward.
What's on the second floor there? I'm not that familiar with that.
It's
complex or facility.
the law library and the courts.
So open to public,
Right.
right? I mean, it's not because like there's certain spaces in our office where we wouldn't allow. That's not public access. What I'm hearing you say is that the public area of that building
Yes.
generally would be allowed access into.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, like the law library.
Yeah.
I could not go walking up the stairs to the law library with my camera on, under threat of
So
arrest.
I'm going to ask you a question back then.
Yep.
Because I wasn't there. I don't know the circumstances. I know generally my position would be in a public space of the building that the person should be able to generally record. Right. That's just my interpretation or understanding of it.
Mine too.
And I don't work. I don't work for you said Freeborn County, right?
Yes, sir.
Albert Lee. And so my only question, I guess, back to you is who you talked to there, and did you talk to maybe the sheriff himself?
I was not.
The police department.
I asked for the supervisor.
Uh-huh.
And the
And you did
supervisor
talk to the
came over. He
supervisor?
said that he took his oath. He's been in that law enforcement for like 30 years. And he was the actual one. I was like, okay, so you're going to deny me access to a public place to conduct a FOIA request with a camera? And he said, yes. And I said, under threat of arrest? And he said, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I have it all on
See,
film.
I don't have an answer. And I don't have an answer for you because to me, I don't know. I'm not going to take a position on
Right.
it
No, I'm
without having been there or no. But I almost think that, you know, it's probably the sheriff's office that's in that building, the police department that's represents the security of that building to some degree. I probably think you should be talking to or making a request to talk to one of the department heads, whether it's the sheriff or the I don't know if it's a public safety director, public safety, or the police chief down there. I don't remember how they're structured.
no. They have a sheriff, but they also have the city police that are in the same building.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's like because some places like Mankato is a Department of Public Safety,
Right.
and then like North Mankato is a police department, so it's just a little different. I just didn't know if I know they'd have a sheriff and then some form of police, but I didn't know if their police would be the public safety or a police department.
Right.
Kind of the same thing. Either way, I think that's if I was in your position, then I would ask for a meeting directly with one of those individuals to ask them the questions you're asking me because they're the ones that would represent what was going on there.
Right.
And it's possible the supervisor was wrong, right?
Well, I
Sometimes
absolutely
people are wrong,
100%. I
and
mean,
I can't speak to that.
they have, like I said, they have, they gave us the, where is it? Procedure? No, that's not it. I don't have it with me, but they gave us the statute for it, but we also tried to present case law that was for this specifically. It was in Georgia, of course, but it was case law that showed that it was unconstitutional. It didn't matter, and they didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and that is why I'm trying to reach out to my own county to actually see, because I'm just beginning. I am absolutely I'm not completely understanding of my rights, so that's why I'm reaching out to, you know, my public officials that I would hope know more than I do, you know.
Yeah. We had a First Amendment audit when was it? Was it maybe just going on a year ago, maybe a little bit longer?
Right.
And, I met with the individual. I think it's all on YouTube, actually. He looked it up. And we had a conversation on, our ability to restrict access or filming in non-public areas of the building. But that public areas of the building, we didn't feel a foundation for us to restrict it. I just can't speak for that other jurisdiction. I just know how we approach it.
And I wouldn't expect you to. I'm not looking for any sort of a statement from you about them. I'm really not. Like I said, I'm a really concerned citizen. I have children. I have a lovely wife, and it's getting harder and harder to live. And I'm starting to see that it's because elected officials are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, we can go on and on about, our governor and all that. But anyway, how do you know if everybody that takes, because I've looked it up online, the clerk here said that not all public officials have to be bonded to their oath, because there's a do you know how a citizen like myself can hold somebody accountable to their oath? Because from what I've heard is that there's indemnity bonds and surety bonds and financial bonds that are bound to that signature when they take that oath.
Not to my knowledge, frankly. I know that, in other words, if you're asking a question like, did I have to seek some kind of an indemnity bond or deposit in order to take that oath, or if the county did that on my behalf, not to my knowledge. The accountability would come, of course, through, now, remember, the sheriff's office is different than a police department.
Right.
Okay. I mean, that the core difference on that, the elected official versus somebody that basically is hired for the job.
Absolutely.
Right. So
yes.
the recourse then on the position of the sheriff would be that come election time, then the people could then vote a new sheriff and the old sheriff out to hold accountability. As far as you talked about indemnity too. There's a certain amount of indemnity that comes with law enforcement through the insurance company that represents the county, where there's general indemnification, meaning that the insurance company, unless there's gross negligence, is going to stand behind the employee for legal representation. But if there's negligence in the operation of their duty, that then the county has no obligation to legally defend the employee.
Okay.
And that would open them up then to having to provide their own legal defense.
Exactly.
There's some case law or trends towards punitive damages on like use of force, which would mean that if there was, which would mean that even if there was indemnification, an individual, deputy, officer, whatever, could have punitive damages filed against them or found against them, so it could affect their private assets.
Exactly, and that's what I'm looking for. Because
yeah, I'm giving you kind of a long-winded answer, and it's just not easy. A lot of people probably don't know the intricacies and the ins and outs of some of this stuff. It just depends on what your role is and what your experience has been to understand some of it. But
right.
That's the best answer I can give you, is how you would get that personal liability or accountability on something is if it's outside of indemnification due to generally negligence.
Right, and that's what I'm finding. I mean, I think it's a dereliction of duty that I've been noticing. I'm not saying anything about your department. I have not had any interactions or anything with Blue Earth County Sheriff. So I mean, that statement does not reflect upon you at this point.
Yeah.
But what I've seen in many other counties, it is very, very, very concerning. Especially, like I said, I mean, we have people dying every day, and I mean, I have the proof. I gave you that link to. I mean, it's right here. The patent number. It was as of April 19th, 2002. Patent number 7279327. In other words, we made SARS. Martin says, or perhaps. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah, what date did you say though? 2002?
Yes, sir. April 19th, 2002. Patent number 727.
20 years ago, almost to the date.
Right.
Yeah. No, you know, and as far as if you've got, like, you're looking for assistance on account, I hate to say it, but there are, when I say I hate to say it, it's because generally it costs money. That's the only reason I say it. But there's constitutional attorneys out there and stuff. And if you feel that you've got a constitutional claim, you know, against an entity,
I do.
They're available for consult and retainer. It's just nothing comes at free.
Right.
anymore.
No, I understand
You know what I mean?
that. Absolutely. And I mean, I'm going to be starting a GoFundMe. This is my life. I've dedicated it to this action. So I do understand that there's going to be costs.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk to you whenever. If you end up here and you want to meet in person or whatever, I'm happy to talk to you. Just know I'm not going to have all the answers. I'll do the best I can. I think I've got a pretty good concept of you know, our position or how things work in the system with lawsuits and different things, just because of my role with the agency. But I certainly don't claim to know everything. I really don't.
Well, I'd have to say that you have been the most congenial. You've treated me the best thus far.
Well, good.
And I greatly appreciate that.
And you know where we're at. If you end up in town and you want to drop by, do you want to just write my name down if you didn't catch it and stop by, say hello or whatever? I mean, I just,
please,
like I said, I'm just not going to make stuff up for you either. I'm just going to tell you I don't know if I don't. So.
Absolutely. What was your name, sir?
It's Paul Barta, B-A-R-T-A, Paul Barta. And I'm the patrol captain for the sheriff's office here.
Awesome. All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much. What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I talked over again.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to give you my direct line if you want it.
Yes, please.
It's 507-304-4807.
Awesome. And did you say sergeant?
No, I'm actually the patrol captain.
Patrol captain.
I don't get hung up on titles, but I also want people just to know so they know who to get to if they're looking to get back in touch with.
Right.
So I'm the patrol captain. So sheriff, chief deputy, and then myself.
Okay. Awesome.
As far as the order.
Do you think there would be a way that I could maybe gain an audience of the actual sheriff?
As far as how?
And just like ask basically the same types of questions. See if he has any insight.
I'm sorry. I keep talking over you. I hate phone calls. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to shut up. You tell me. I'm not going to say anything for a minute.
Okay. No, just to speak to him, basically to ask the same types of questions and see if he could shed any insight. Or is there, would you be willing to speak to him and anything that you come up with? I mean, because I would prefer actually to speak to you since, I mean, I believe that we're kind of building a rapport here.
Yeah, so I can talk to Brad. He's the sheriff.
Okay.
If you want to give me, I don't know if you're comfortable with it or not. I certainly don't have any ill will to you, but if you're willing to provide me a phone number, I can talk to Brad and just see if he's willing to give you a call back too.
Yep, that's 507.
Hold on one second.
Sure.
507. Yep.
525.
Yep.
8804.
And what was your name again? I never wrote it down.
That's Aaron, Aaron.
Okay. Do you want to give me a last name or not?
Sure, Lane.
Aaron Lane.
No,
Are you related to? Well, go ahead.
I want to show transparency in myself so I can, I mean, I have a show on YouTube and CloutHub.
Okay.
I'm trying to show transparency and accountability for myself as well. So I can't very well try and hold you accountable to your job and hide behind walls. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not afraid of giving up my information.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No, I get where you're coming from. I only ask because I've learned that sometimes people feel that they're being accused if someone in my position asks them. And frankly, it's not like you've been alleged to commit any crimes or under suspicion of anything. And so
Right.
I wasn't going to force the issue. It's just if you're willing to give it to me, then I'd take it. You know what I mean? So I always
Yep.
just offer that. It's not like I'm demanding it. So I just like to set the stage so people know kind of where they're at when they're dealing with me too.
Completely understood. Thank you very much.
You bet. And yeah, let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to Brad. He may not be here any longer today, but I will see him tomorrow and most likely. And I'll certainly let him know that you and I talked and you just want to talk to the sheriff too. So
Yes,
I will
please.
pass that information along.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today.
All right. Take care, Aaron. Thanks for the call.
You too. God bless.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, maybe I should be doing a little bit more of that because it's getting a little expensive. I'm telling you, to drive from city to city and doing all this. So yes, I will be starting a Give, Send, Go, because just like he said, it's going to cost it. I'm starting to understand that it's going to be a bit of a financial war too. So I'm going to start a Give, Send, Go, and just continue on day in, day out. But we're going to get to the bottom of this, America. We're either going to find out that we have no constitution and that we're on our own, or that God truly is still at the top of our nation. All right. Well, that's it for me. I've got some stuff that I need to do with my family. They've been patiently waiting here. So no more excuses. No more fear. God bless, Patriots.